Let's go now to Andrew Bush, who is an economic futurist from Bering Productions Incorporated. Andrew, thank you so much for coming on. Tell us, what is powering this inflation this time?
Yeah, well, this is a little bit different from what we've experienced in the past, but clearly it's an imbalance, and the imbalance is the demand for goods versus the demand for services. So that's the starting point, and that was caused by COVID. And then you can layer on top of that the government providing so many stimulus checks out to the American people, and that really lit the fire, and it's continuing on to this day.
So tell me, how would raising, interest rates here affect this inflation?
Yeah, the concept is that you increase the cost of money, so you make it harder for the economy to grow, and eventually that cools things down. It may lead to higher unemployment, but that's what the Fed is contemplating, and the markets are doing it too. They're trying to figure out, when is the Fed going to raise interest rates the first time? And it looks like, because of this rapid inflation we're experiencing, it may happen much sooner than most people think, probably in June of next year.
So tell me, how likely is it that, by raising these interest rates up, that it firstly could be politically tricky to do so, and secondly, stifle growth?
Yeah, so that's the big question, right? This is a big shift by the Biden administration right now, talking about their infrastructure deals, because they have what we call dissonance in their message. And that is, they're saying it's a good idea to keep spending money. At the same time, we have high inflation. So it really doesn't, you can't reconcile those two things. So Biden's under some pressure to explain those stances. As a matter of fact, one of the key people in making those decisions is Senator Joe Manchin, and he's pushing back right now on the second infrastructure deal. But that's the question going forward. Can you keep spending money politically and have it influence the demand for goods and services without, really increasing inflation?
Yeah, definitely. And I think what a lot of people in the US would be wanting to know right now is, how does all of this affect them? How does it affect, the everyday consumer, or, the everyday worker just going about their life?
It's a tax on them. It really hurts people who are the low end to middle income earners, because they spend more of their money on the goods that need to get purchased, like energy and food. Those two things alone, they spend more of their disposable income than the other upper income earners. And so that's the way I'd look at this. And that's why there's so much pressure politically to do something about it. Clearing the supply chain, that would help a lot, but that's only part of the story. And the big worry is if consumers, all of those people out there, start building in inflation expectations into their wage demands, and then you get a cycle going similar to what happened in the 1970s.
Yeah, and especially given that Christmas is just around the corner. Andrew Bush, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. Thank you so much for that.
My pleasure.